Ingrid here for part 3 of the 6-part series, which is Introduction to Meditation and also discussing the 4 agreements. So today we're going to discuss the second agreement, which is don't take anything personally, which this is huge. I mean, just like the first one, be impeccable in your word. Don't take anything personally. So like what people say about you or do to you is about them more than it is about you. And this can be really hard to remember. And so this is something where it helped me to apply some of these big ideas that I know to be true but are really tough to the practice of meditation, to just, as I'm becoming more aware of focusing on my thoughts, focusing on first not thinking, and so being aware when a thought enters my mind that I decide what to do with it while I'm meditating. I started in my day-to-day being aware when I would experience an emotion, realizing, oh, this emotion isn't me. Just because I feel hurt or angry or resentful or afraid or any number of emotions that come up throughout the day, having a little bit of space around it to recognize I can feel this right now, but this doesn't have to define me. I can decide how I'm going to respond to this. And having the thought, don't take things personally, it doesn't mean I can go around and be this selfish person, and if someone says, hey, I think you're being selfish, that it's not about me. But understanding that if someone says something to you that doesn't sit well, that they don't understand you, or are bringing their perceptions to what you're doing, that's about them. And it doesn't mean that if they say something about you that that's necessarily true. And it's one thing where it's like we know this in one way and it seems obvious, but there's, in so many instances, we can get really caught up in the words and actions that other people take toward us. But when you get that space around it and can remind yourself that not to take it personally, and if you feel that you're acting in a way that you agree with, if you're impeccable in your word and somebody else maybe doesn't approve or agree, that's about them as long as you're okay with you. And so these again are really big ideas, and then also very simple at the same time. But it was really helpful to just kind of spend time practicing thinking about these things. And again, it's like, to me, it's hard to argue with don't take things personally. So again, and if you have questions, have issue with that, think that that's misleading or confusing, let's talk about it. I'm all for it. I love the art of conversation. I think really powerful things come from saying this is what I believe, and just the act of finding words to express what you're about or what you think helps you decide if you even really feel that way, or narrow down what is important to focus on here. So I really invite conversation through all of this. Okay, so let's get to the meditation part. Let's do just a little mindful, getting our bodies ready. I always like to start with my shoulders because I personally carry a lot here, and I don't think I'm alone, of having to mindfully let go of tension in my shoulders, in my jaw, in my neck. And it's just pretty much, I never regret taking a moment to breathe and shake off stresses. Something that's nice to do when you're just sitting at your desk during the day is to shake out your wrists, do this motion, and then I love this one. I always taught like a little weird wave, which makes me giggle every time. So just shaking out. You can stand up if you want, and I love doing this one where you just flop your arms around, just shake out whatever you got. We can do whether you're sitting on the ground or in a chair, just the gentle folding over with your hips, letting your back drape forward and let your body just hang. This is a great way to find where you're tight in your lower back or across your shoulders and just let it go. So we'll take just a few breaths here. Just relax. Let go of any tension you're holding on to. Deep inhale, deep exhale, and then gently roll up, shoulders back. And then choose where you're comfortable, if you want to be in a chair or back on the floor. And again, if you have questions about posture, if you're in this third week and something's not working for you and you need help with anything, reach out and I will do everything I can to help you. So I'm going to just stay in the chair today, sit on the edge, have my feet planted, roll my shoulders back and down. Think about having my chin level to the floor and pull my head up toward the ceiling so that my spine is nice and straight. I like to have my hands rest just about halfway on my legs with my palms open. And just begin to follow my breath in. Notice the pause. Exhale. Notice the pause before my next inhale. So let's just take a minute to follow our breath and watch all 4 parts. Today, a nice visual as we're focused on maintaining our focus on our chosen point of interest, which I always offer up the breath as a great place to start. You can also put your gaze at your third eye center. Sometimes you might see a spot of light or something there to focus on. But today, think about sitting on a warm rock in the middle of a river, and you're nice and dry and the rock is warm from the sun, and as long as you hold your focus, you're sitting on this warm rock. And when thoughts start to creep in and you find yourself thinking, it's like you slid off the rock into just the water around you. And so as soon as you're aware, oh, I'm thinking, just climb back up on the rock and bring your attention back to your breath. And know that you may slide off again and you just mindfully get right back up on that warm rock. But having that visual even of just seeing yourself sitting calmly in this sunny, warm spot in the river might be something helpful if you like that visual. So let's take the next minute and just sit on our rocks, follow our breath gently in and out, not forcing, just watching. slid off your rock, just climb back on. Bring your focus back. Gaze up through your third eye center and know that you're doing the work, practicing, taking control of your mind, control over your thoughts. Even if you just need to think, inhale on the inhale and exhale. Just inhale, exhale. Whatever it takes to keep your attention right there on your breath and nowhere else. We're in our final minute, so just do all that you can to remove thoughts and keep your focus. Okay, as we begin to come out, you can keep your eyes closed. Let's take a deep breath in together. Exhale that out along with any tension. Another one, and one more big deep breath. Put my hand over, left hand on your heart, right hand on top of that hand. Big deep breath. Thank you so much for being here, sharing this time with me, focusing on yourself, spreading peace from you to the people around you through this practice. I'll bring my hands to heart center. Namaste.